Good morning, everybody. This is Dana B. and Charlie M. and Kent G. KJG from Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries. And today we have a couple really special guests today because we are an educational ministry. And as most people know, Mountain Patriots has been around for close to 3 years. And we have an educational ministry, we have a spiritual ministry, constitutional ministry, civil defense, preparedness, community, and a health ministry. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about being prepared for health. And I brought on some really good friends of mine that I've known for quite a few years, Tim and Russell from MyNotify services. And what we're going to do today is we're going to have them talk a little bit about our MyNotify services program that we have, that we all have, and let them explain to you how we try to keep each other safe. Now, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
and I'm going to turn it over to my good friend Russell. Russell, you can introduce you and Tim and tell us a little bit about this incredible program that the Mountain Patriots have.
Actually, you know what? Why don't we let Tim go first because Tim is the president and the founder of My Notification Service. He's the one that actually did the initial research and came up with the idea.
This is a fantastic idea. Tim, it's all yours, my friend.
Sure. This idea came from a incident that happened to a good friend of Russell and mine. He ended up in the hospital, unconscious. First responders had no way of knowing that he had responsibilities that he was entitled to take care of. So his emergency became his pet's emergency.
Right.
Unfortunately, he passed away. The pet, it took a few days before someone did finally get to the pet. At his memorial service, I thought, gee, I'm in the same situation. What happens if I'm in the hospital to my pet? And that started the whole idea of my notification service. I did 7 months of due diligence doing the research for this, finding out what information first responders require. We hooked up with scene of the accident to tell us what kind of IDs work best. From there, we approached all 50 states, got permission to get our stickers on the back of your IDs, whether it be a state ID or driver's license. And we operate with 22 call centers throughout the U.S. And
Excellent.
Russell can fill you in on the rest.
Excellent. Tim, thank you. And all of us have been in a situation before where something happens. It's not a matter of if something's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And are you going to be prepared for it? So with that, I'm going to turn that over to Russell and he can explain a little bit more about it. Thanks, Russell.
Thank you. We appreciate your time and having us on here because preparing for a medical emergency is extremely important. And one reason it's important is you don't want to make your emergency somebody else's emergency. In other words, you end up in the ER and you're unable to communicate, or you had a heart attack, you had a stroke, you're in a car accident. In those cases, even though you might be conscious, you're going to be generally very shook up. A lot of times people get incredible adrenaline rushes from things like car accidents, whatever, and they can't remember a thing. In other words, the hospital is going to want to know what medications you're on. They're going to want to know he needs to be contacted on your behalf. These are things that might be very difficult for you to remember at the time when you're lying on a stretcher after a serious incident.
Right.
So we came up with a program where we do two things, and we do them quickly. Number one, we can send your medical information to virtually any hospital in the world within minutes.
Wow.
And that's any hospital. So we not only have a toll-free phone number that works in most countries, we have an emergency email address. So if you're in Timbuktu and our call, the country code's not going to work there, they can send us an email and we can get your medical information back in up to 75 languages within minutes. Our call centers also have access to a grief counselor because we don't want that handled by just anybody. And they also have access to an interpreter so they can deal with any country, any language. The main reason that this is so important and why people should have a medical emergency plan is the difficulty that hospitals have notifying family members after a medical emergency.
Right.
And I can tell you, I was absolutely floored when we first started this service, and I looked up the information, and it said it was a 6 hour time, average time in the United States to notify someone. I couldn't understand that because everybody's running around with a cell phone, everybody's got texting, everybody's got emails. It didn't make sense to me. And then drilling down on the hospital protocol, it started to make sense. And the main reason is what the hospital was always able to do for 50 years plus was they would be able to get your driver's license and call 411 directory, and 95% of the time they'd be able to get a phone number and at least be able to call somebody.
Hmm.
Well, that was back in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and the early 2000s. That was before people started getting cell phones and getting rid of their landline. Because once you get rid of your landline, you are no longer in the 411 system. And nobody thinks about that. That's something that never really occurs to people. So once you're not in that 411 system, all of a sudden the driver's license was not a reliable way to get a phone number. Like I said, it used to be 90% or so. Now it's down to about 30% of the country. There's only about 7 in 10 people don't have a landline anymore. So that means the hospital with their driver's license is not going to be able to get any information or know who to contact on your behalf. The other couple of reasons why is you have 100 million people in this country that are single, living alone. So it wouldn't matter if they had a home phone number. If you're lying on the stretcher, there's nobody home to get the call. You also have another 100 million people that are two-income households. So both people are out working. So again, even a home phone number would not do anybody any good. So we came up with a system where we would have a sticker, and what we do is we have your driver's license, and we also provide an ID card. So when you slide the driver's license out, and every EMT everywhere in the world is trained, and emergency rooms are trained that at some point when the medical emergency, somebody is going to go get your license because they need to find out who you are. And a lot of states allow medical information to be put on the back of a license. So what we did is we got permission from the 50 secretaries of state to place a sticker on the back of all 50 state driver's licenses. And it's a bright yellow sticker. It's waterproof. Our logo is called the blue star in the middle of there. That's the Star of Life. That is the international symbol for medical emergency. So any EMT, any emergency room that sees that logo knows immediately they're going to look at this because they know it has to do with a medical emergency.
Excellent.
So what we do is we provide the stickers. People can print up an ID card from their account online. We tell them to put it in their wallet behind their license because as soon as they slide that out, before they even turn your license around, they'll see that sticker and they know it has to do with a medical emergency.
Ingenious.
So they will call us. I'll call our call center. There's a code in there because we don't go by names because I could have 55 John Smiths in there. I don't want to know that John Smith's in the hospital. They'll provide me the unique code number, and then our call center will do two things. They'll verify the information, make sure it's correct, that a hospital is indeed calling us, and then we'll send your medical information to, like I said, any hospital in the world in minutes, and then we will notify. We can notify up to 9 of your contacts by phone, text, and email. So we can do it all 3 ways, which means my call center could send out 27 notifications to 9 people,
Wow.
alerting them that you had a medical emergency, where you are, and passing on any special instructions. Let's say this is a Tuesday afternoon, and on Tuesdays, you're responsible for picking up your child from school. Well, that you would set up ahead of time the person you want to be notified to take care of your child and pick up your child from school, and our call center would contact that person and pass on the instructions that ABC person is in the hospital. They're unable to pick up Johnny from school, and that is something you need to do, or take care of the pet, or even more importantly, now so many people are caregivers for their relatives in the
Right.
country. It's very important that somebody be notified to take care of whoever you might be the caregiver for. So one thing that's so important is the hospital in the normal situation is going to notify only one person, and then their job is done. Well, that
Mhm.
one person might not know what responsibilities need to be taken care of on your behalf, which is why we went ahead and allow people to put up to 9 notifications in, 9 people, which is probably overkill. It's probably more people than anybody needs to contact, but we'd rather have it too many than too few because we do have some competitors that were in the market and they would only notify one person.
Right.
We didn't think that was responsible. So that's why we came up with this system. It's something that's very simple to do. It takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes to set up your account online,
About that.
putting in your medications, your vitamins you take, your health supplements, putting in your doctor's information, and then putting in your notification, people you want notified. And then once you're set up, most people are not going to have to go in there and change that very often. They're not going to have to change the notifications. They might have to change their medications every once in a while. But once you get it set up, it's generally not anything you need to take care of after that. And then you're set. You have tremendous amount of peace of mind knowing in a medical emergency that somebody is going to be notified quickly on your behalf. And medical information, which could be so important in saving your life, especially if you have allergies to things, the
Hmm.
doctors need to know that. It can also save you thousands and thousands of dollars in claims by making additional testing unnecessary if they have your medical information and they know what medications you're on and what allergies you might have.
Real quick, Russell, we did this a meeting the other night on Monday night, and we have a Navy doc that works with us. He's incredible, and he said, "Wow, the amount of money that people could save by us not having to test for this and this and this and this and this could save people a fortune. Not only that, but their lives because they know what medication that person's on and what can interact with it." So you have all of that information ready for people as well to be able to stave that situation off, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Excellent.
And I was going to
Charlie,
ask if you guys had any stories as far as maybe involvement that you've had any medical emergencies or ended up in the ER or been dealing with any of that.
Yeah, I can contribute something to that. Um, Two aspects. The first one was why I was attracted to this in the first place was a gallbladder attack on a Saturday. Um, the doctor there said at the hospital where they took me, or in fact, my wife took me there. They said, okay, now that we got it relieved, the pain stopped. Uh, you need to go in to see your doctor first thing on Monday and be checked out. And I had to go on a trip. So on the way there, I stopped. Well, that's not all part of the necessary part of the story. But anyway, I ended up in the hospital to have my gallbladder taken care of. And the doctor wanted me there ASAP. During the operation, they had the gallbladder burst. So they were right on about the emergency for me to have that taken care of. This is the first time I'd been intubated um, with anywhere for that matter. And they put the breathing what do they call that? It's breathing, not a tube, but the part that goes into your throat to keep it open while they operate. When they got done with the operation, which took longer than usual because of the breakage, the burst of the bladder, they couldn't get it out. So it took them 2 hours to get it out. And when I woke up, this went in for the operation in the morning. When I woke up, it was dark out. And my hands were tied to the side of the bed because I kept trying to pull it out myself. And so what we learned from that is that those doctors told me, you need to tell people that you have a difficult airway.
wow,
And I found out, we figured it out since, that my
wow.
spine is curved. So my head on top of my spine, let me back up. People normally say, when you give them artificial respiration, tip their head back so you open their airway. Well, I'm opposite of that. When
Wow.
I tip my back, my airways gets closed, just like a hose crimping a hose. Now that's probably not too unusual, but it is the minority of cases that they run up against. So they said, well, you need to put a child airway in instead of a normal airway for an adult.
Wow.
Um, and had they just tipped my head forward and taken the airway out, there wouldn't be a problem. All of that, I can't fit that explanation on this little thing I wear, that's tag I wear, telling them what I'm allergic to and who my
Right.
doctor is and my wife's phone number. Um, so I can put all information I have and a good explanation, a clear English explanation of it on MyNotify.
That's huge. That's
Yeah,
huge, Charlie.
because it's hard enough for someone to find a piece of paper somewhere that says that. I can't describe all the detail on the dog tag I wear.
Right.
So MyNotify fills the bill on that. And thank you so much for doing that.
By the way, I don't know if you've done this yet, Charlie, but I also have the medical ID jewelry as well. I put my Notify phone number and my code number on my jewelry.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
Excellent.
You might
Yeah,
want to
mine's at my
consider
dog tag.
having a new jewelry
Yeah.
made and having that done, because that would be that's the first thing they're going to look for is medical ID jewelry. That's the first thing they're trained to look for. Then after that, they're going to go for your license. So if you have that information on the jewelry itself, it would even be quicker for them to contact us and
So I
find
can
out.
get jewelry from you as well.
Well, we have a partnership with a company called Lauren's Hope. They make
Okay.
Right. That's
they make
right. I
high
forgot
end,
about that.
they make pretty high end, stylish medical ID jewelry. So
Hmm.
they provide our customers can get a discount, like a 15% or 20% discount off their jewelry with us.
I
But
will
yeah, that's a good thing to put on medical ID jewelry.
I will
Excellent.
update my
Obviously,
jewelry
those
that way.
people are very high risk, and you want those things
Yeah.
clearly spelled out.
Thank you.
Well, the medical system today is not what it used to be,
Oh God, no.
and they can make all kinds of mistakes. So nowadays you have to lay everything out. I'm going to turn this over to Kent because I know he's got a few ideas with this too, because he's the ultimate camper, prepper, military. I call him our PSYOP guy, 'cause Kent really thinks about all of this stuff. Kent, where are you, my brother?
I was going to say, Charlie, was it a trachea pipe that was down in your throat?
There you
Trachea
Yes.
go.
windpipe?
Yes.
Yeah, those are nasty. I got trained in that, and that's like one of the last things that you do with somebody that you find that they have a collapsed windpipe is you got to cut a hole in their throat. It is
They didn't
very,
do
very,
that.
very, very bad.
Put a pen in there.
Yeah. And yeah, and then just kind of touch on the jewelry thing. 10 years ago, I would actually have an engraved piece of jewelry I'd wear on my boot. I wear on the end of my boot on the laces. And the most important thing, and this is the thing I would tell everybody when I was teaching a class, is know your blood type. That's the
Yeah.
last thing. If something's going to happen, you're going to get blown up or whatever the case may be. You're in a car crash or, something traumatic. You're not going to remember your name. But with those important pieces of information that's identifiable, and like you said, first responder medic's going to show up and say, "Hey, does anybody know who this guy is?" And they're going to start going through a checklist. And if you have something that's at least on your person that does have an indicator of, hey, I'm A positive and I have known allergies, and I'm pretty much set. And if you don't have that, they're going to start giving you things until you're not going to wake up anymore. And one of the things I like to do, and I've kind of beat the drum on this, especially for us with Mountain Patriots, and to stay into the prepping game. I've told this how many times, Dana? I always say, hey, carry 5 essential things with you.
Yes.
And this is going to kind of tie into what you guys have too, Russell, with the medical card. But number one, I always tell people to carry something sharp, a good pocket knife. It doesn't have to be expensive. I carry a $10 one from Walmart. It's a D2 steel Ozark trail knife, but I want something. man, if I'm in an accident and I'm conscious, I'm awake, if I need to cut something, I'm going to cut something more than likely it's going to be a seatbelt or some sort of restraint. I need to get out of the area quickly if I can. I
Yes.
definitely have a knife. 10 times out of 10, what am I using it for? I'm opening up packages in the mail. You know, wife gets something, stop by the mailbox, say, okay, I got my knife for that. But you definitely want to carry something sharp. It's very easy to have in your pocket and it's very comfortable. Two, I always tell people to carry something bright. I got a little pen light. Matter of fact, like all the things I'm talking about I actually have on me or
Every one of us.
within reach. But I carry a little pen light, you know, a pen light like this. Number one, the older you get, the worse your eyesight is. And you know, when you're taking care of duties at nighttime, I want a light. And but the other good thing too, you know, if you're in a situation where somebody's approaching you, shine a bright light in their face and tell me what happens. You're going to stop them dead in their tracks. So I always carry a light. Three is something medical. Biggest thing is especially what the type of work we were going to do. I always carry these. These are Cat 5 tourniquets. You could pick these
Yep.
up on eBay in a pack. Definitely make sure that you get it where it says Cat 5. I have one in my bag. I have one within hand's reach of my vehicles.
Hmm.
I love Toyotas. I drive Toyotas, and they're on my little arm rack that's on the A pillar. I have these taped there, and that's how we would roll out overseas. We would keep them up close. It takes about 90 seconds to bleed out from a good femoral cut into the leg. About 90 seconds. You're going to get really sleepy and cold, and then you're finished. But I can get a tourniquet on very quickly to stop that bleeding. And this is the big thing: is just know your blood type. I'm A positive. My wife is O positive. She can donate blood to me because she's O, but I need A positive. If I get the wrong blood, I could die.
You can
And then
always call me, Kent. You know that. You're on my
See, A
list.
positive, right? And the other thing, you know, medications. Know what medications you're allergic to. My wife is allergic to certain medications that she
Me
can't
too.
take. I haven't found any that hurt me yet. My father's allergic to penicillin. He cannot have penicillin.
Barbiturates.
Penicillin. Yep. But know these things. If you don't know them, go get a physical. Go find out what your blood type is. You should know these bare basic things about yourself.
You know, Kent,
Number
you're talking about medications. One of the things that's killing people right now, when you get into the vaccine and all the other stuff, is remdesivir. So that is actually on my notification service. It says no remdesivir.
There you go.
Run,
Yeah,
definitely near.
know these things.
I need to know.
I always tell people if you can, if you live in a state, carry something lethal.
Hmm.
A good tool to have is something lethal. If you can't, at least you have a knife on you. Number five, I always say communications are the key.
Yes,
Communications are the key. I have a radio right behind me. I have another one here that just went off during
we all
this
do.
this podcast. You probably heard it, but I have access to communications. We all have access to cell phones. That is a primary source of communication. But if something's going to happen, and once your adrenaline kind of spikes down, you're going to get on and start asking for help. And you know, I'll say number six. Hey, get your My Notifications card. You know, what can
Yep.
it hurt? It's in your wallet. You're going to have your wallet with you. I just printed out. I got the emergency card as well. Just print this out and laminate it and stick it into your pocket or make several copies, put it in your go bag, put one in your vehicle,
Yeah, I
something to have
have
access
mine
to.
laminated and I printed it up both sides and then I just put them together and for $2, I went to FedEx office and put it in their lamination machine.
And we have one
Absolutely.
here.
I
A
have one
bunch
in
of us
my
have
wallet
laminators.
and I have one in my gym bag because when I go
Yep.
swimming in gym, I don't really carry my wallet. So I have
Yep.
those cards in there. Uh, it,
And
it, it could save your life. It really could save your
So it
life.
doesn't cost any
absolutely.
more, Russell, to print off extra cards and laminate them, does it?
No, you can print up as many cards as you
Right.
want. Put
Exactly.
one on your fridge. You can put one on
Exactly.
your door outside your apartment. I mean, there's no shortage of places you can put it. We also actually provide an automobile window sticker
Yep.
that's specific to the car because still automobiles accidents are still the number one reason people get rushed to the ER in the United States. And that's another reason that, listen, all smartphones now have the capability where you can put some medical information in and emergency contact information in. The problem with that, number one, is in a lot of medical emergencies, especially car accidents, the phone never makes it into the ER.
No.
It's not the EMT's job to go retrieve the phone. It's their job to get you to the hospital. It's the police later on that are going to go find the phone. So as much as we tell people, do everything you can, put all the information in your phone, whatever, but that's still not going to be enough, which is why there are services like MyNotification service for people.
Russell, let me jump in real quick because we had that situation with a good friend of yours and mine, Murray. His sister was driving from Louisiana to Missouri and got lost. Okay, and she had a situation. EMTs got her 8 hours. They expected her in 6 hours. 16 hours later, they can't find her. They went back to get the phone, and then they had to charge the phone. And thank goodness that her daughter's phone number was the last person she called. She just happened to have a flip phone. So they're going through the flip phone, but it took a few hours to not only get the phone, but to find somebody that they could call. It took almost 16 hours. And you brought up earlier, it takes the average person about 6 hours to get the information. So you might as well have a bunch of these cards all over the place.
Yeah, that's why you see all the time. And everybody that's listening to this podcast and watching this podcast, I guarantee you in their lifetime, they've heard this 1,000 times or read this 1,000 times. We're not releasing the person's name until their family has been notified or their next of kin notified. You see that and hear that every single day. And people never really think about that. They don't, they hear it, but they don't really think about it. Why is it taking so long? Why can't they release this person's name? Because it's taking 5, 6, 7, 8 hours for them to notify the family members.
Unbelievable. Boy, we've covered a lot of ground with this one little sticker and card. I mean, a lot of different things. What else can you tell us, Russell? Do you want me to play the video and we could talk about how inexpensive this is? Tim, what do you have, buddy?
I got something real quick.
Yeah.
The gal who designed our logo was in college. She had a appendicitis attack. She was in so much pain that they gave her ample amounts of painkillers to where she was incoherent.
Oh, God.
She notified her parents when she got discharged from the hospital.
Unbelievable.
She was in 3 days.
She went through that whole event with nobody knowing where she was.
3 days.
This is a no-brainer. I mean, for everybody that sees this, and so people know, we do podcasts like this because we care about that's our ministry. We care about what happens to other people. We care about whether or not you're prepared for something. We want to make sure that people are kept healthy and safe. So, Russell, what else can you tell us before we you tell people that this is like $1 million to save their lives,
Well, I mean, look, it's very simple. I don't think anybody could disagree that in the event of a medical emergency, you want your family, or on the flip side, if something happens to your family member, you would want to be notified quickly. You don't want to find out 6 hours later. So it's not that difficult to spend 5 to 10 minutes to prepare ahead of time and make sure that, God forbid, something happens. And look, nobody wants to think about a medical emergency. No one wants to have a medical emergency. But the facts are there's 134 million people a year that end up in the emergency room. There's over 100 million people that get rushed to the emergency room every single year. And every single person that gets rushed to the ER had the same exact thing happen. When they woke up in the morning, they had no expectation of ending up in the ER. The thing is, you just don't know when it's going to happen. It might never happen to you. But if it does, you are going to want to be prepared ahead of time. Because the ER and most ERs in this country are absolutely chaotic. And
they're insane.
It doesn't
if
take
you're in
long
Winchester, Virginia, it's insane.
Yeah, and it doesn't take long for them to get filled to capacity. I mean, every minute in the United States, an ambulance is redirected to another hospital because the ER is at capacity. And that means your treatment's going to take even longer. They have that thing called the golden hour where you really need to get treated within that first hour to have your chances of survival be at its greatest. And part of that is having a medical emergency plan so that your family is notified and your important medical information gets sent to the hospital.
Well, I want to do something real quick, Russell, before you get into pricing. This is a list of minute and 5 seconds. I love this little 5 minute explanation. Can I play this real quick?
Yeah, and also
Last year, over 100 million Americans were admitted to a hospital emergency room. 20 million of those people were either unconscious or they were incoherent. If this were you, how would your loved ones know? Introducing MyNotify service, created to bring you security and peace of mind in times of emergency. MyNotify service lets the people important to you know when you've been involved in any type of medical emergency, even if it's the result of an accident or disaster. And we do it fast. Within minutes of being contacted, we're able to transmit life-saving information to emergency medical personnel around the world. Contact someone to take care of children or pets, even get in touch with your employer, anyone on your personal contact list. Our friendly trained staff monitors the phones 24 hours a day. Don't let a trip to the emergency room turn into a real tragedy. Protect yourself with MyNotify service today.
That is a great recap on everything that you said at the very beginning.
isn't it? That's a good video.
It is a great little video, and people can share this. And I hope people that see this talk about Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries, talk about being prepared, talk about what Kent was talking about today, having the 5 things. And this is one of the most inexpensive pieces of peace of mind that you could possibly have. Now, Russell, you put something together real special for Mountain Entities and Mountain Patriots, didn't you?
Yes, what we did is we provided you guys a 65% discount
Yep.
off our retail prices. So let's see. I think I can. Do you have that? Do you want to put that on screen?
Sure, you can put it up. You can put up your regular prices. You can put up what we're saving people here in Frederick County.
Okay, here it is.
This was all I can say is this was really cool, and I can't thank Russell and Tim enough for doing this for us, because to me this is priceless. And we do, our guys all have medical power of attorney in case something happens. We've given everybody that medical power of attorney that we can take right up to the CEO of the hospital. So if somebody wants something like that, you can come see us for that as well. We'll just give you one. But that's just a compliment what Russell has here for us, Russell and Tim have for us. Really appreciate it, Russell. Go for it.
So if you can see it on the screen, we have a 65% off retail prices. You can see our retail prices on the right side. And then we have a special price for Mountain Entities, Mountain Patriots, and anybody that you want to have this fantastic service. We've arranged to have a nice 65% off discount.
Excellent. Excellent.
So they can contact you. You can provide whatever contact information, and they can make their purchase and save lives, save money.
Well, I think Barbara will also be able to put this on there where they'll be able to print put it in the description box below and be able to print it off and send it right back into you. Does that work?
That works. We also did set up a promo code, the promo code Patriot.
Correct.
That will give a 65% discount. So anybody that just goes to our website and wants to sign up directly through there, they use the promo code Patriot. It goes through Mountain Entities, and it'll provide that discount.
And I want to add one other thing. This is great for individuals, but if you're a business owner, wouldn't you want this to have for every single one of your employees? I mean, this is probably one of the most inexpensive benefits that you can give, a safety benefit that you could possibly give any one of your employers. And Russell, if you do something like that, you have a program for that as well, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
They can contact you, and we can even give, you got a large company. I'm sure we can even give a little bit more of a discount for volume if you're gonna protect all your employees, because listen, it really shows that you care about your employees.
Yes.
To provide something like this, especially, listen, if you're the one paying for the insurance, if your insurance is covering your employees, this could save your company a lot of money because claims would be considerably lower. Also, if you have a company where you have key employees where they're out on the road and something happens and someone needs to cover their job, you're going to need to be notified immediately about this.
Absolutely.
It's a medical emergency. So there's just so many ways that this can be beneficial to a company, the employees. And again, this assists the employee on or off the job. It doesn't matter where they are or what they're doing. So it really shows that you care about your employees 365 days a year, 24 hours a day.
Yep. And I've been in the insurance and compliance business for 25 years. And if you have especially a self-funded plan, when you start getting utilization, oh my gosh, that drives all of your premiums through the roof. But
Oh,
if you can cut down on a lot of that expense to begin with, number one, you're saving not only you saving, most importantly, saving the employee's life. Okay. But you're also saving the company some money so you can offer this to other employees that are coming in. So I want to thank you all for being here today, for helping out mountain entities, for helping out mountain patriots. Russell, you and I go back many years. I have my original sticker from years ago. Well, thank you, because I've been through one license since I got my original MyNotify. But I have it, my wife has it, my son has it. There's a lot of mountain patriots that have it, and we wanted to make sure we made this available to everybody else. Does anybody have any? Kent, you have a last comment, my friend?
No, I appreciate it though.
Yeah,
You
me
know,
too.
it's just another tool in the toolbox to have, right? And like you said, you just never want to go through that situation. But when you do, you have something that can help you out. And you never know. I mean, I had the first time I met my neighbor, within 20 minutes, she was having a heart attack.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just terrifying and it shakes you up a little bit. But yeah, it's just good to have.
And I'm like, Tim, if anything happened to me, I mean, who's going to come over and look at I have a friend of mine down the street that knows where the dog food is, where the cat food is, what time they go out. If something were to happen to either one of us and we couldn't get here for a few days and we travel a lot, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know what we do. Plus, my other family members. Charlie, you have any last comments?
No. I'll give us a prayer on the way out.
Fantastic. And Tim, I want to thank you. Anything you want to add, Tim?
Well, yeah, real quick. When you're on your back being wheeled into the ER,
Yeah.
then is not the time to think about our service.
Great point. Great point. Well, I want to thank everybody for taking the time here today to go through all of this with us. I hope this helps out a lot of people that know mountain entities and know mountain patriots. There's a lot of different things we do in healthcare. This is probably the least expensive and one of the most important things that I have ever done with any one of my clients. And I want to thank Tim and I want to thank Russell for taking the time to help us today. And I'm going to, since we are a ministry, I'm going to ask Charlie if he will take us out today with the Mountain Patriots prayer.
Absolutely. Let us
Thank
pray.
you, Charlie.
Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful world and the country that you have given us and the patriots who are willing to care for it. Thank you for inspiring our founders to create this beautiful republic, and please help us to keep it. It is the aspiring place to live. Please give us the wisdom to do the right things, the common sense to judge wisely, and the energy to never give up, and for your unending grace in which we take comfort. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And
Guys, thank you so much for doing this, and we will be in touch with you soon. This ends another podcast for the Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries. I hope this was good for you. You learned a lot. If you have any questions, please reach out. You can go to mtpatriots at proton.me, or you can go right to wakeupwinchester.com and leave a comment right on our website. And the last thing I will share with you is on the 28th of June, we do have our Mountain Patriots Conference, Health and Freedom Conference, where we're going to be covering health and politics and preparedness and everything else. So until the next time, I want to thank everybody. Have a very blessed day, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
God
thank
bless.
you.
Bye now.
Take care,
Take care.
everybody.